Welcome to Eckington. This Roman settlement was first formally recorded in the will of Wulfric Spot in 1002 AD, where it was referred to as Eckington, meaning Ecker's or Ecky's farm. The Domesday Survey of 1086 records the parish of Eckington as being divided into two manors, belonging to Ralph Fitzhubert and the Royal Manor of Newbold. From 1804, the Sitwell family became lords of the manor and still reside in the parish to this day at Renishaw Hall. While agriculture formed the basis of Eckington's early economy, industry became the driving force behind forming the modern town. With evidence of ironworking as early as 1415, Eckington was situated at the centre of many natural resources, including coal, ironstone, and the driving power of the waterways, and the population expansion that accompanied the Industrial Revolution soon followed. A foundry was established in the heart of the town. This was served by many local collieries, including Hornthorpe Colliery, located near Eckington Marsh, Plumley Colliery, and Renishaw Park Colliery, which closed in 1989. Whilst having undertaken an industrial upbringing, Eckington has retained much of its founding architecture, together with the natural beauty associated with the Moss Valley. We hope you will enjoy the scenic views and historic points of interest along each of our heritage walks. Welcome to Eckington Heritage Cemetery Walk. This is a circular walk, starting and returning to the big tree in the town centre. During the Industrial Revolution, the commercial centre of the town expanded to serve the growing community, along with the construction of public buildings and facilities. The buildings on Market Street tightly line the road, enclosing the space which becomes narrow as you look around. To start your walk, follow the precinct down Market Street. The Grade 2 listed Angel Hotel, now residential flats, stands at the junction of Church Street and Market Street. The hotel dates from the mid-19th century and is impressive with its heavy stone window surrounds. Continue down Church Street, making your way towards Eckington Parish Church. The Anglican Church of St Peter and St Paul is a Grade 1 listed building, thought to have been constructed around 1100 AD in its original wooden form. Dating back between the 13th and 18th centuries, many additions and extensions were undertaken before it was thoroughly restored in 1878. It is well worth taking the time to look around this beautiful place, from the War Memorial just outside the church grounds to the stained glass windows and the Norman door. The West Tower has an octagonal spire which can be seen from many viewpoints in and around Eckington. Now take the right turn off Gashouse Lane, following the route down the church steps. The original settlement of Eckington lay in close proximity to three open fields, visible from the bottom of the church steps, with extensive meadows adjacent to the River Rother. The primary candidate for the first settlement in the region is north of the River Moss, in a field called Great Crow Croft, where the remains of the priest's well stand, once containing pure clean water. Here, Sir George Sitwell imagined his ancestor, Walter de Boys, filling his water bottle before setting off for the Holy Land in 1299. As Eckington grew, a new cemetery was created on Sheffield Road in 1877, replacing the churchyard as a burial ground for the parish. The most notable site in the cemetery is the Gothic-style Chapel of Ease, where the open archway guides you up through to the most contemporary part of the grounds, past the headstones of some of the most important people who made Eckington what it is today. Most notably are members of the Wells family, who resided on Southgate during the 19th century and built Eckington Hall and Elmwood. On the far right of the chapel, by the border, is the headstone of Alfred Williamson, a local hero who died trying to save 3 children from drowning at Plumley Colliery Pond in 1895. The 3 white crosses by his side mark the graves of the children who died with him. Over the years, since being opened, the cemetery has grown into a wonderful arboretum, providing homes for local wildlife. On the opposite side of Rotherham Road is a building depicted on the earliest local maps. The historic building has now been converted into 2 private houses, but was once the old Coach and Horses pub, said to have held a licence for almost 400 years. And the deeds for the property are rumoured to include reference of Oliver Cromwell having taken respite here. The old Coach and Horses ceased to be a pub during the 1950s. The Set Cup tramway was constructed to transport coal and coke from the pits and coke ovens at Bramley Moor and Marsh Lane to the Chesterfield Canal. The goods were transported by horse-drawn wagons, following the route from Set Cup Lane and across what is now the golf course, where evidence of the tramway's route can still be seen today. The Sitwells lived on Southgate from 1431 to 1543, but it was during the early 17th century that Renishaw Hall was built by George Sitwell, with much of the surrounding land having been purchased by his predecessor, Robert Sitwell. George Sitwell established an ironworks in the parish during the 17th century, well before the Industrial Revolution. By the end of the century, the Sitwells were the greatest makers of iron nails in the world, and 1/10 of the iron trade in England passed through their hands. Hohenlinden on Southgate was the home of George Wells of Eckington Hall, and is now known as the Grange. Next to the Grange is Southgate House, which at one time was resident to Dr. West Jones, a popular medical man said to be the first owner of a car in Eckington. Now follow the route along Southgate towards the big tree in the town centre.